Welcome back to RXMuscle in studio. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today's guest sitting right next to me is my good friend Jimmy Mentis from Liquid Sun Rayz and Beauty Fit. Jimmy,
what's up, dude?
Good to see you again.
Right.
Yeah, I love when you come by. I love when people come by. Very few people come and visit me. You do.
You know, we wanted to do this, and I was like, I'll come by in the studio.
Yeah.
I love seeing you.
No, I know. I always say you want to do this via Skype. Goes, no. Come on,
Take a nice little drive in the middle of nowhere.
The great thing about Florida, because I come from New York, is that driving is not a big deal here because there's no traffic.
No,
It's pleasurable.
I got in the
put the
car,
radio on, you listen.
Got in the car, flew Alligator Alley, was here in, 2 hours?
Yeah. Now, I love what you're doing because, you know what, I was always a big fan of Liquid Sun Rayz tanning products for years. I knew Marilyn from when she first started the company. You took over the ownership of the company and running the company, what has it been, a year now?
It's about a year.
Yeah. And you've been doing some great things. You know, a lot of people ask me about tanning products, and they don't really understand the science of tanning. You know, when we were coming up, and people probably love this, but, you know, there was a process. You can tell me your process. My process was on Thursday, I would do the final shave down, and Thursday morning, and my final tan, like in the tanning bed. Because you had to get as dark as you possibly could.
Right.
By Thursday night, I'm putting my first coats of whatever coloring it was on. I think it was only Pro Tan back then or something like that. You paint it on. You have to stand around with the fan blowing on you for like 5 hours. You go to sleep that night, you mess up all your sheets and everything like that. You wake up in the morning, you take your final shower, and then all day long you're tanning. You're just putting coat after coat after coat, and you're screaming at your girlfriend because you couldn't do your own back.
How many coats did you put on?
As many as I possibly could. I don't even know, but I would just put coat after coat after coat. You couldn't put too much on your face. Your hands would get, your wrists from the wrist straps would get the dark spots. Your elbows, your feet looked ridiculous. I mean, it was a horrible, terrible process. The night before the show, you're standing around naked for 6 hours, letting this stuff dry, and it was a miserable experience. And I'm convinced it ruined more physiques than not because of the color, because of the stress of the situation.
Very stressful.
Nowadays, the whole thing changed. You get sprayed the night before. In the morning, you get touch-up sprayed, and you get on stage.
And you get a little touch-up backstage, and you're good to go. If we had that process, we'd still be competing.
I wouldn't need high blood pressure pills either right now. I'm convinced that it ruins more relationships also than you can even imagine because you're screaming at people because it's never your fault, and then if you're on stage and the judges say the tan didn't look good, you want to kill yourself. So
I actually went one step ahead.
Yeah.
I actually used to put Vaseline on my knuckles.
that was the trick, yeah. So
I learned after.
Yeah.
You know, I realized after I put Vaseline in my knuckles, my elbows, and it wouldn't be as bad.
So you wouldn't get the dark spots on the calloused areas.
Yeah, but after the show, it looked like I had a disease.
Oh, you look like you had vitiligo, vitiligo, right? You had like half your body it came off terribly. It was a miserable process. Now with the tanning products out there, I think that it's been taken to the next generation. And I believe that Liquid Sun Rayz is really the next generation in coloring too, because I think that you guys have the most natural or the brownish coloring out there.
It's got back then I used 2 brands mixed because the one brand was just too green for me.
Right.
But with Liquid Sun Rayz, it's got that reddish brown color. But here's the thing, it's also healthy. It's also good for your skin.
Oh, it's nourishing?
Yes.
Didn't know that.
And that's the good part about it. But there's a
not that bodybuilders care about healthy the day before the show, but they want to use whatever looks good.
But at that point, when you don't have all those chemicals in there, it's absorbed better by the skin, and I absolutely love it. I mean, when I first saw Liquid Sun Rayz, I didn't even know it was Liquid Sun Rayz. I saw athletes on stage, and I was like, wow, their color's really good. Their color's really good, and I just thought it was just another brand, right? And then I would hear Liquid Sun Rayz, Liquid Sun Rayz. I'm like, who in the hell is Liquid Sun Rayz, right? And then it was about 4 or 5 years later. Then I met Marilyn, and I met Marilyn at the Border Clash 2 years ago.
Right.
And I said, hey, I really like the color. I really like what you're doing. Let's talk. And she looked at me like I just wanted to take over her world. Like she was like this, so
really?
Get away, yeah.
Well, you are kind of a shyster, a shyer character. Just kidding.
but I was like,
well, you saw a good opportunity, and I think that
I just saw something that I could, I had Beauty Fit, right?
Right.
So to me, Beauty Fit, tanning,
the products had crossover.
It was perfect, right? So I didn't know where she was. I didn't know. I just loved the color. I just knew that everybody loved, Liquid Sun Rayz color. They were sponsoring shows, so I wanted to get involved.
Right. Now, here's the issue. You go to a show, and a lot of times each show has its own tanning sponsor, so to speak. So you kind of, as an athlete, unless you know where to go, because usually there's usually multiple companies tanning people at other hotels. But most people like to stay in one hotel, get everything done in one spot. Do you think it's a bad thing that a promoter takes, a tanning sponsorship from one company and makes like the competitors, or kind of directs them into one company, even if it's your own? I'm just saying.
You know what? I know it would be hard to say this, but I would do away with that. I would do away with the exclusive tanning sponsorships because I don't think it's fair to the athletes. And then not only that, the business side of it gets dirty. Okay.
People try to outbid each other.
Well, let's just say that Liquid Sun Rayz is the exclusive tanning sponsor of a show, this show, right? And then there's the other tanning companies at other venues or other hotels, or sometimes even the same hotel. Okay, doing tans for $50 or free, just to ruin.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's been a year. I'm already getting tired of this.
Burnt out. Here's a good analogy. When I first started RXMuscle, there were all the magazines, right? And they had exclusive athletes. And I felt it was a disservice to the athlete to not be able to talk to every media outlet because it was inhibiting their ability to promote themselves. So my thing was, all right, yeah, you can have your athletes for your magazine, but why not let these athletes represent your company with a shirt and do interviews with other media companies so that they could promote themselves and whatever company that they're representing. So, and I think nowadays, because there is no magazines and there is no exclusive contracts, everyone can talk to anyone. And I think it's great for the sport because now everyone's getting to hear Phil Heath talk to everyone and all the other athletes. And it's really it's benefiting the athlete too, because the athlete can promote themselves better. Same thing with tanning. I mean, if I'm an athlete, maybe Liquid Sun Rayz doesn't look good on me, and I don't want to use you. I want to use someone else.
But now you're forced to.
Right.
Or if you're not, if you don't want to use Liquid Sun Rayz, right, you would have to go to a different hotel or a different venue.
It's a pain in the ass.
It's just
stressful.
Again, it's crazy that I'm saying this, but I think.
Well, you believe in your product enough that people don't want to use it anyway.
Let the athletes decide what they want to use. That's how much I believe in it.
Where do you see this tanning, instant tanning, industry going in the future? There's got to be an evolution to what you're doing now. There always is. What's the next stage of tanning?
On the competitive side?
Well, of just coloration in general.
Well, if you go to the tanning salons, they have instant tanning.
But it sucks.
They're bronzer. But the thing is, I'm actually getting Liquid Sun Rayz in there.
Oh, you are? So that's great.
The reason why I got involved with Liquid Sun Rayz and I did what I did with Maryland was I want to take the product to the retail.
Right.
You piggyback it to my
because I see some of these people. I watched the Long Island Medium. Did you ever watch that show?
Yep.
She's Teresa.
I watched her a couple times.
She's right from where I was in Long Island there, and we knew a lot of the same people. And she obviously gets spray tan. And it looks so fake to me. Jesus. It looks so orange. I'm like, man, if she only had like a Liquid Sun Rayz tan on once a week, it would look so much more natural.
But everybody wants a tan, and nobody sits in the sun anymore.
No.
And I got to tell you, that's why you got more depressed people.
I believe it. I really do believe it. I think that I think a little bit of sun is good. When I used to tan in the sun, this is the truth. When I was in New York, when I was getting ready for shows in the summer, I would literally, and this is no joke, 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, I would sit out on my porch, because I was right on the water.
Really?
Yeah, 15 minutes on each side, and I go in, and you know what, if you do that every day, you feel good, you don't get burnt, and you tan. It takes a little longer, but people go out too long. They go out for like 3 hours in the sun, they get sun. They get sun exhaustion.
I baked.
Yeah, they get sun exhaustion.
Hour in front, hour in the back.
Right, but you got the crazy good skin. You're not going to get skin.
Okay,
You agree. Yeah, you're not going to get skin cancer. But, like, other people get skin cancer, especially in Florida. The sun's really strong here.
It's too hot.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I walk outside for 20 minutes and I come in and I got a tan. That's it. I get the Italian skin. I tan, So I think people overdo it. Like, they overdo everything,
They think more is better.
Right. You only need 15, they say 15 minutes a day to get the hormonal release and the vitamin D production that your body requires.
I love it because when I drive sometimes and I park the car and go to the front door to the office, the sun actually hits me.
Yeah, you feel good, right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a therapeutic effect. I think that's why there's less depression down here. I tell people all the time, I said, you know what, you're depressed up in New York, move down to Florida. It's never gloomy here, and you know what, I'm convinced it affects people's moods.
I agree. But if you don't want to tan the sun, you got Liquid Sun Rayz.
That's right. There you go. I got to ask you, because I know you got strong opinions. What did you think of the Olympia this year? Phil Heath losing.
I think it was fair. I think Phil, I believe Shawn deserved to win.
Right.
That was it. That's all I really saw.
Do you see Shawn continuing to win?
I was waiting for you to answer that question. I didn't want to jump into it because I didn't want to run because I wanted you to put me there. I don't know if Shawn can do it again.
Interesting.
Even though he has the most amazing, beautiful body, the lines, I just think he's got that thick skin, and I don't know if he can come in grainy.
Right.
Now.
Who could beat him? Doesn't look like Phil's doing the Olympia this year. At least that's not what he told me.
I called it.
Yeah, you did.
I called it. Kai.
You think Kai will come back?
Why wouldn't he?
That's what I think. I think he has a perfect opportunity. Right?
I think if people, I think only the people can bring him back.
Because he claims that he doesn't want to do the show because he doesn't like the promoters of the show, that he has had a run-in with them. That was what I heard, at least.
Does he need him?
They need him more than he needs them. That's what I think.
Make me a deal.
That's what I would go. Maybe they don't want to make a deal with him. Maybe they'll cut their nose to spite their face. I would do anything to get Kai Green if I was the Olympia promoters, wouldn't you?
Me too. Because I don't think Big Ram is going to be around, like in the top 3 again.
Well, who knows? I mean, he can't do worse. Well, I guess he could do worse, but I think he something went wrong with him. But I think Kai Green can beat a Big Ramy easily.
Oh, that's not even a question.
Who tans Kai Green? That's a better question. There you go.
I don't know.
You should wrap him up now before he commits to the Olympia. That's a Jimmy Mentis move. I didn't know I was going to do the Olympia. I agreed to do that. You got him.
I got him.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, he's doing videos with Liquid Sun Rayz.
That's right.
Yeah. Right?
See, I don't want to give you all my ideas because I do have some good ideas in this time. Who do you think would be a wild card in the Olympia aside from Kai Green? I mean, is there anyone who can come in and kind of steal it? Because Dexter won that Olympia in 08 and
listen,
he didn't hold it.
I am a true fan of Dexter. Okay, but what about Flex Lewis?
Will Flex Lewis do it in 19 though? I heard he might wait till 2020 to compete.
I kind of feel that Flex emotionally is still in it, but I think he kind of semi-retired.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if he's going to come back either.
You don't think so, really?
Listen,
you live right near him, so.
Well, I don't see him. Unfortunately, I don't see him that much, right? But the thing is like, when you're in that groove every year, and you're towards the end of your career, okay? Well, we're never towards. We feel like
other people say we're towards the end of our career. We don't think we're towards the end of our career.
Even though we are, right? I don't. Flex, if he takes a year off, I think it's going to hurt him, and I think
the momentum will be gone.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's going to hurt him.
Maybe he'll do it. Maybe you never know.
I think if Shawn pulls it together, I don't know what he did this year, but he looked amazing.
Well, I think he had that bloody ulcer for 2 years.
Right.
No one
but what about the 3 years, the 4 years, and the 5 years before that? Sean looks beautiful.
You could only judge what's up there, I always say.
Right.
And I think that this Sean was at the right place at the
Absolutely.
right time.
But he was
in the
good.
right condition.
He looked amazing. The thing is, that recipe of what was it? Because he wasn't stressed either.
Right. Look at 15. I thought he looked great in 15 too, but I think he had Phil beat in my mind in the prejudging, and then Phil came back, Mr. Saturday Night, and stole the show from him. But he's always been right there. I mean, people forget how many times he's been second. I mean, he wasn't like
I saw him in Gold's Venice, and it was 5 weeks before the show. he's one impressive guy.
Yeah, but he's the kind of guy you see him in the off season, you're like, yeah, he's not that good.
Yeah.
And then he takes his clothes. Those are the guys backstage. You're like, I'm getting my clothes off, and I'm like, man, I'm the biggest guy here. I'm the hardest guy here. And you're like, oh, that guy, look at him. He looks like nothing.
Yeah.
Then he takes his clothes off, and you're still like, he's all right. He's got a small waist. And then you look at the pictures later under the light, and you're like, how did he look like that? He didn't look like that backstage, right?
That was like me in 19. It was my first time competing in the States from Greece, right? It was 1989. It was the 90'S Lake Ontario Empire State Championships.
Okay.
And I'm backstage, and I've never seen any American competitor, right? So I'm backstage, and I'm see these guys are just huge with flannels. Back then, they were flannels.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to compete with these guys. I was soaking wet 220. Soaking wet, too. And these guys were like 240.
And you're tall, too.
250, yeah. And I'm like, I was telling my buddy George, I'm like, there's no way I'm getting my ass kicked.
Yeah.
He goes, nah, just go out on stage. I get out on stage, and I'm like, pulled out, first call out.
Right.
And they're like, I win the heavyweight class. I win the overall. I had 225. These guys were 240.
Right.
Like, you
can't tell.
You don't judge anything.
Another I remember when I competed against Derek Whitsett. Remember Derek?
Yes.
May he rest in peace.
Yes.
Derek was making a comeback. This was in 1994. I was at I went to the Suburban Championships as a warm-up for the Junior USA. This guy just happens to show up. I'm like, my friend's like, you're in trouble. I'm like, from who? That guy? I'm this bigger than him.
Derek had that big chest.
Yeah, he had, his waist was this big. He didn't look like anything backstage. Won the class, obviously. And then the week after that, won the Junior USA. This was at heavyweight. Then he dropped down to light heavyweight at the Nationals, if you remember. That was the year DeMeo won.
Right.
And he won the light heavyweight class, and he beat some good guys.
That was
94. You were in that show.
Orlando.
You were in that show. That was
Orlando.
the first national show I ever went to, and I remember you were in that show.
Yeah, 94.
Right? Weren't you?
That was it. 94. No,
Yeah,
in Orlando.
That was a crazy show.
That was my last show. I did
Titus.
Yeah.
Don Long.
Yup.
Paul DeMeo. It was a crazy
Dente,
stacked
Gerard Dente.
Yeah, it was a stacked class of people.
That was everybody.
It was a very intimate event.
We all had a big party backstage.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah, we were eating donuts, we were eating everything, hot dogs, we were eating everything.
It was a really good show. I remember because it was, when you go to your first show, you never forget it.
Yeah.
And I remember DeMeo had this Metrics jacket on because Connolly.
He had a big contract.
He had a big contract with them, and I'm like, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I said I want it, and I wound up getting. I did
got
get a
it.
Metrics. I did get what I want. I want that jacket too. And matter of fact, when Connolly signed me on, it was 2 years later, '96. I said, I don't know if you got any extras because I don't know. I know you probably made them in '95. I want that jacket the Mayo had. He goes, well, we'll find you one, and I got
one, right?
What?
Was it the varsity jacket?
Yeah, it was like a varsity jacket. Those are cool back then, right? That's the jacket everyone wanted. It said Metrics on the back. You know, you looked important wearing that jacket. Yeah. So it was funny, but that was those were the heyday. But that I remember some of the getting back to tanning. You saw some of the most horrible tans on stage back then. It was terrible. I mean, there were guys that were just like pale white. Because if you didn't tan in a tanning bed and have a base tan, the coloring back then didn't look good.
You were orange or yellow.
Yes, or
yellow,
worse, green.
Green.
Yeah. How do you guys prevent that from happening?
It's
a pH problem.
Yeah, it's a pH problem.
Is it the skin prep stuff that you have to use?
It's the skin prep stuff, but the Liquid Sun Rayz brand is so well experimented with the how can I say it, with just the way it's been with the pH balance.
Well,
and
you guys give people instructions. Use this, wash like this, don't do this, do that. Because I think there's certain stuff you shouldn't put on your skin, right? Before.
Yeah, there's some certain things, but Liquid Sun Rayz color is so good for any type of diverse skin color or oils that we really haven't seen a big problem.
What about redheaded people? They have that very fair white skin.
Yeah. Sometimes they take it good, and then sometimes it's not so good.
Are there foods that you shouldn't eat before you tan? That's a question a lot of people ask me. That ruin the pH?
Again, it depends on the person.
Yeah. What have you seen that you know for sure sometimes can cause disaster? Anything?
Believe it or not, some pineapple.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I think Marilyn told me once.
Yeah, pineapple.
Because it makes the skin too acidic?
Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder if tomatoes does the same thing.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh,
the interesting thing is
tomatoes,
no one really eats that kind of stuff like before a show. Although there are people that do, they go off the reservation,
hit the buffet.
Yeah, they hit the buffet before, and then all of a sudden they're like, I don't understand why my tan looks so terrible. Yeah, well,
it was the color.
Yeah, it was the color. Yeah, isn't it funny how people like to blame the color on why they didn't win a show?
Oh, we always have to blame somebody. It's either the coach or the color or something.
That's right. Will Liquid Sun Rayz be at the Olympia this year?
We're working on it.
Okay.
We're working on it. This year, well,
now with the amateur Olympia there too, you would think that it would be a good venue.
Yeah, we're working on it. There's some things that I'm talking about with Dan just got the
Dan Solomon got
the
a
position there.
new
So,
job there. Yeah.
been talking to him, been talking to Robin as well. In November, what are we in October? November 10th, we're at the Shawn Rhoden Hawaiian Classic.
Okay.
And
Shawn Rhoden just sent me some kind of a.
Yeah.
He's got another show coming up.
Yeah, he's killing it. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, I'm going to be arguing with him on camera tomorrow.
Good luck with that.
Show,
Yeah, we're there in Hawaii at the Shawn Rhoden Classic.
Do you do that show just because you want to go to Hawaii?
I'm actually not going.
Oh, you're not going?
No.
Wow.
No, I'm actually not going.
Okay.
So we're.
If I'm a worker for Liquid Sun Rayz, that's like a nice show to like get sent to.
Next year I'm definitely going. and then we got the Shawn Rhoden Classic.
That's in
December.
Where's that?
December 8th.
Where is that?
In Philippines.
Philippines, right. Okay. That's
So we got that show too, and
is that a pain in the ass to send people out to the Philippines?
No, I got a great crew.
Do they ever? Do the airlines don't let liquids on? What do you do with all the product? You have to ship it.
Ship it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you ship it. But you know what? My crew, my team, they're amazing. I got a European team. We got it.
Oh, good.
It's really.
You have an Asian team
It's really
too?
good. I'm building an Asian team. Yes.
Because there's a lot of shows in China now.
I'm learning all this, and I'm fascinated how this whole tanning.
I have anxiety for you. I got to tell you, there's so much going on with tanning all over the world. I don't know how you organize it all. I would be a wreck. It's too much almost.
Oh, that's why you have good people behind that. Maryland's really.
What do you take for stress relief? What do you do for stress relief?
I cry.
You're always smiling. People always say, Dave, how do you deal with stress? I'm like, I smile for it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a happy idiot.
I smile and I cry, that's all. A good cry makes you feel better.
Well, I'm sure 2019 is going to be a huge year for you guys.
Absolutely.
I know the first year is kind of like you're getting kind of feeling your way, and now I'm sure with under your direction, Liquid Sun Rayz is probably going to go way
I think we're going to do some pretty good things. We already booked for 2 years the Junior USA.
Yeah, I saw Trey Bennett, and you were doing a nice deal.
Junior USA's we got 2 years.
That's a gem show. I used to love to go to that show because no one went there.
Yeah.
And I would cover the show. I'd be the only one there. Trey would roll out the red carpet for me. It's a very relaxed, intimate little venue there. Everything's right there, right at the hotel. I think people don't even realize what a great show that is.
I love doing specific shows. Listen, like I said, I might be contradicting myself now about not sponsoring shows, but the shows I love, sponsoring are my friends.
Sure.
We do the Border Clash, Joe Pasculu in Aiken, South Carolina. I mean, Liquid Sun Rayz is there, Beauty Fit's there. Trey, we got Liquid Sun Rayz there, Beauty Fit's there. So wherever Liquid Sun Rayz or Beauty Fit goes, the other company goes as well.
Well, you might as well take.
So I'm having a blast with this.
I know you get the 2-for-1 deal.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like we've been there with the tans, right? And I know now that I can provide that.
Right.
I'm just not a company who's got a product. Yeah. I'm actually somebody who lived it, and I can work. I can work with the formulas. I can improve the formulas. I can stay with the times. I can stay with the chemistry side of the formulations.
Right. Do you think that the technology will improve in the future?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look at the dietary supplements.
Right. Sure.
The more we learn about how the body functions, I think everything else is changing. I mean, right now, even with Liquid Sun Rayz, I'm putting together a retail division of it, and we've had some products.
You'll just sell to other people, to the public. My vision of what the future of spray tanning is, I'll probably give you an idea, $1 million idea, but there's got to be a way to take certain nutritional supplements that make your skin more sensitive to absorbing the tan.
True.
And looking better. I guarantee there's got to be a synergism, and when they find that, you're going to have the perfect.
Wouldn't that be a diuretic?
What? I don't know if diuretics do anything like that, but I'm just saying there's got to be something that you can put into your skin that will enable it to hold onto the tan better. And
that could be.
I don't think anyone's created that or thought of that or even come up with that, but I'm sure there's some wacky chemist in the back room.
Delete this part?
Yes, yeah. We don't want to lose. This could be. So I don't want to give someone a billion dollar idea, but I guarantee that will be the future.
Yeah.
You can mark my words right there. I'm talking right.
No,
to
we're
the
not going to
camera.
hear this part.
The future of tanning will be someone you'll a week before the show you'll take some nutritional supplements, and when you tan it, it'll like ignite the tan and will work.
Do you remember when those pills you take for tanning, people were turning orange?
They were all carrots. carrots tasting. They were eating like concentrated carrots. I will say one thing. Melanotan, it does work.
Does it?
Yes, melanotan, which is that peptide.
Right.
It does cause you to produce more pigment. But I think what it's doing is just giving you a better base tan. You still, it doesn't matter. And I always tell this to people, the biggest mistake is some black guys that are really dark or women, they think they don't need to tan. They look great. Everyone needs to tan. There's not one group of people out there that don't need to tan. No matter how dark you are naturally, no matter how good your tan is from the sun, you need to have a base tan. Why? Because it gives you a uniformity, and that's what you can't get from the sun. Everyone's armpits are going to be lighter. I mean, how many guys have we seen on stage with the white armpits and the glutes where the line of the bathing suit was? Yeah, I mean, you got to get spray. Guys, if you don't get spray tan, you're morons in this industry. Don't do it yourself.
Don't do it yourself.
It's too stressful. It doesn't look good. Just spend the money. You're spending a fortune on the show anyway. Spend the money. Get spray tan. Jimmy, thank you for coming to the studio. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And that's going to take us to the end of another episode of Live With, brought to you by Liquid Sun Rayz. I'm Dave Palumbo for Jimmy Mentis. We'll see you next time.